and her most prominent book, Wake Up and Live. And I found it extraordinarily powerful, uh, reading a little bit of her backstory and understanding more about her. Somebody from the turn of the 19th century, 1800s to the 1900s, became one of the most, she spoke in front of 500,000 people. Now, that's not, in today's standard, that doesn't seem like a big number. This is in the early 1900s. She spoke in front of 500,000 people, where it was a challenge for people to get to locations, right? Horseback and maybe car. But the events were huge events. 50 people, 100 people was a lot of people. So somebody worth leaning into and learning a little bit about. She is along of the time frame of Charles Haanel. So one of the biggest phenomena that she came about, this modality and methodology that she arrived at with her awareness in writing and in conversation, was act as if, right? If you hear anybody say act as if you could not fail, other than the Bible, it came from Dorothea Brande. So the key is this understanding of, we we work with momentum and inertia. And inertia is that ability to begin to move, right? And to get off a center. And so we have to awaken our ability, our inertia, to be able to move off of our center, to move off of this place that's not our comfort zone. And what she discovered from personal struggle is that many people, many capable people, operate far below their potential because they unknowingly live under the influence of will to fail. Meaning, we have set up, AKA shame, the will to fail, to avoid confrontation, to avoid outstanding, to avoid being seen, right? A subtle, often unconscious force that diverts energy away from purpose and fulfillment. If you were to look at yesterday, there's a chance, might be a good chance, that yesterday you wound up knowingly, knowingly stepping away from your task, stepping away from your path, right? Just a little bit. It only takes, right? A miss is as good as a mile, right? An inch is as good as a mile. If you were in it going to be, goodness gracious, God forbid, into a potential accident, and you came very close to something, yet you missed it, a miss is as good as a mile. We just happen to be able to see it, right? If you've ever almost racked your knuckles on a table, but you didn't, or shoulder into a wall, but you didn't. A miss is as good as a mile. The challenge is that we don't see, because we do wind up engaging in our limiting beliefs, that we're operating under a will to fail. We have designed ourselves to keep ourselves stuck. It's the majority of people. If you struggle in finances or relationships or any, that is a wired in, you're not meant to be that way. You're not meant to be that way. There's people who are out there say, well, I'm meant to be poor. I'm meant to be broke. I'm meant to be single. I'm meant to be, that's no, you're not. You're just not. So first key from this book, uh, Wake Up and Live, is awaken from inertia. This weight that we have, that we can't get anything started. If you've ever tried to push a car, right? It's getting that car to roll the first couple of inches to break its inertia of being stuck, right? So that's number one. Number two note or point from the book Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brande is success requires conscious effort. Now, this is from the early 1900s. Sounds like we're talking about the early 2000s, right? Success requires conscious effort. She'd remind listeners that success isn't about dreaming or planning. It's about deliberately channeling energy toward meaningful goals. Even the act of failing takes effort. So why not use the same energy to build success? That one kind of hits around the soft areas, right? Even the act of failing takes effort. So why not use the same energy to build success? All right. Number 3, identify substitute activities. This is powerful. Dorothea Brande would encourage awareness of seemingly productive, but ultimately unfulfilling actions. She would call what she calls substitute activities that keep people from their true work. Now, substitute activities back then and substitute activities today, some people would be busy writing out their list of substitute activities. Scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Facebook, scrolling in stories, scrolling in, you name it, YouTube. When you see what your substitute activity, now it does sound nicer instead of scrolling or wasting time, or you just can label it, begin to label things substitute activities. And it might be a little softer, yet the definition is the same. I'm avoiding my own creativity, my own production, right? So substitute activities, what she calls substitute activities that keep people from their true work, whether it's excessive socializing. So these were the things they did there. Perfectionism, well, that hasn't changed. Or compulsive busyness, that hasn't changed. These behaviors are often disguises for fear or resistance. I'll add in there, dare I add to Dorothea's philosophy, shame, right? These behaviors are often disguises for fear, resistance, or shame. Here's the key note that when I read the book, it jumped out at me. And I listened to it again and again and again to work myself into a way to, why is the author saying this? Why is the author sitting with these words? Why did the author choose these words? Right? Printing a book back in the 1900s was a little bit costly, and you had to make sure every word counted. And the copywriter, the editor, wanted to make sure the public could understand this. So I don't know where these yawns are coming from. Act as if it were impossible to fail. This is kind of what she is known for, this mantra, this idea. So her famous formula for transformation is this bold directive. It's not about blind confidence. It's about breaking self-imposed limits we accept too easily. Now, if that was the philosophy, if that was a mindset of the early 1900s, and it's a mindset, maybe even a stronger mindset of today's time and space, what does that tell you about the brain? What does that tell you about our setting of limitations? It hasn't changed. This is the way the brain is designed for 200,000 years. So it's not about blind confidence, but it's about breaking the self-imposed limitations, aka inertia, awakened to inertia, the self-imposed limits we accept too easily. Acting as if, right? That's the theme behind Dorothea Brande's work. Act as if removes hesitation and launches us into action. What's something today? What's something that you're going to work on today that if you could act as if, it would change everything? If you could act as if you were the top network marketer, as if you were a social media influencer, as if you were a good parent, as if you were fill in the blank. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5 is reclaim your imagination and courage. She'd stress that imagination isn't just for dreaming, it's a tool for visualizing the life you were meant to lead. Here we go back to pulling from the universe the potential that exists, right? You have 100% potential. You have your actions, results, and belief. The challenge is we're allowing our belief to directly influence our actions. When in truth, it should serve us well to remember we have unlimited potential. And when we start to visualize, we can increase our potential for better actions, more actions, stronger actions that will increase our results, which will enhance our belief. We're going from a limiting belief right into actions and forgetting about what potential really exists for us. Right? So if we act as if it were impossible to fail, right? These self-imposed limitations to remove hesitation launches us into action. Oh, reclaim imagination. That's where we were. Number 5. So couple this with disciplined action and courage to disrupt old patterns. It becomes the engine of real change, right? So she'd stress that imagination isn't just for dreaming. It is a tool for visualization or visualizing the life you were meant to lead. This morning, in your intentions, did you act out? Did you set in place? Did you set in stage the way your life is to be a year from now? Are you living it now? The reason that it takes, if you set up your mindset to overcome inertia, to act as if, the visualization, the reason it might take you 6 months, 12 months to arrive at that goal isn't because you keep writing it out. The reason it takes you 6 months, 12 months, right? Bob Proctor would say, nobody knows the gestation period of a good idea, of a goal. So you have this goal. You want to create X amount of income. You want to have this size business. You want to have this fill in the blank. The reason it takes the time on the clock, the sun sets, the sun rises, the reason it takes the moons of time for you to arrive at it is for you to literally get into the vibration. That's the delay. It is for you to literally vibrate your body, the neuroencoding in your body, to get into that state. Well, why do they have such they're having much better success? They're in the better vibration. Literally. That's it. If things are going better for them than they are for you, is because they're in a better vibration towards their goals for them than you are for you. It's why when somebody says, well, give me a script, I could give you the perfect script. I could give you the perfect script that I use when I have a conversation with someone. It won't work for you. It'll produce some results for you. It won't work for you like it works for me. You give me a script. It won't work for me like it works for you. The best way to explain this is if you learn a new language, Chinese is probably one of the more challenging ones. They have sounds, tones for a particular word. We have inflection, high, 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 right? You can tell that there's a challenge. They usually use they use the tones to actually mean a different meaning of the word. Right? When somebody can tell whether you're fluent in a language based upon your accent, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? So people who are struggling in success are fluent at struggling in success. If you would like to become more successful, you have to learn. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. It's about adding the correct tone, the correct vibration to your imagination. If I could open up your beautiful brain and that lid on you and pour in this awareness, you'd go, oh, that, I get it now. That's literally the thing that's holding you back, is your ability to vibrate, to get yourself into a desire. Napoleon Hill calls it a white hot burning desire. That white hot burning desire is this reclaiming your imagination and courage. When you have a white hot burning desire, your courage is on full tilt. And you can go do anything. You can step in the way of unknown. You can go out and to be uncertain, knowing that you will find the way to get you to the next level. Right. So that was number 5. Number 6, the true reward of success is not only external achievements, it's internal joy by living authentically and fully. Dorothea Brande, would insist that even a small, completed task that aligns with your deeper self brings more satisfaction than years of dreaming. I think we've all found that to be true. Living authentically and fully would insist that even a small, completed task that aligns with your deeper self brings more satisfaction than years of dreaming. So it's about getting into action. So the key is what Dorothea Brande, if she was here this morning, she might say, right? This is a guess on my part. She might call you to courageously claim your power. Use your days intentionally and believe that transformation is not only possible, it's your rightful path, right? This is before Bob Proctor wrote something called You Were Born Rich, right? It is your rightful path if you dare to step into it. Okay? So live from this philosophy. Ask yourself, where in my life am I living under the radar of my own potential? Where am I sleepwalking through opportunities? So that's a conversation for this morning. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways. What'd you learn? What'd you like? Chickens are loud this morning. Is it time? Would today be a good day for you to say yes to you? And if you say yes to you, question then becomes, what are you going to say yes? What are you really saying yes to? I want more. More what? What was your intention for this morning? When you woke up, when you broke out of the bliss of non-consciousness, right? Sleep, and activated your body, what's the pattern you started to run? Did you wake up to remember or wake up to live? Wake up to remember is I brought all of yesterday's challenges with me. Did you review your evidence file? What are you waking up to live for today? What are you waking up to? Which version of you is waking up? I guess would be my best question. Questions, comments, thoughts. Oh, there's a comment here. Hang on. Oh, yes. Absolutely. All righty then. I hope everybody has a good morning this morning. It's Tuesday morning, June 10th. We will do a call this evening at 8 o'clock. Bring to me your questions as it relates to building your business or your opportunity or suggestions, and we'll go from there. Going once. Going twice. All right. Y'all have a good morning. I appreciate you. Big hugs from the ranch. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling misfit. Let's learn more about Dorothea Brande. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Love it, love it, love it. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
We love you, Mark. And some Lydias. Peace.
Peace be with us.
Yes. And the queen of helping you awaken your vision, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bossly.
We love you, girl. And a white, fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
Gurgly. All right, Fee. All right, everybody, go have some fun. We'll see you tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. Y'all have a great night, great day, success, and know this: you were meant for more. go find out how much more you were meant for. Till then, bye for now.